So today we are pulling the S52. Chelsea was a little late, she slept in. So I've already got the intake manifold off, that's the first step. And then you just get into this harness below and you try to pull all of it back. There's quite a few wires down in here, but nothing too crazy. And obviously when you start letting the motor down, you're gonna know if you have something attached to it still. There's always something you forget. But mine's usually the ground strap. Leave the power steering pump in there, we're gonna need that. Makes it easier if I don't have to drain the fluid or do anything. There's one on the bottom too I gotta grab. Alright, so harness is off. It's coil pack shit. I usually just use the wiper to hold all this shit out of the way, but simple, dirty, and easy. Alright, so I don't know if there's anything else holding the motor in besides the subframe stuff. What a trooper. Lower that garage door just a smidge. I was like, oh, it's vibrating under throttle. It's either the carrier bearing or the drive shaft. Got him. I try to loosen this nut, and the whole stud is spinning inside of that piece. And then I want to go loosen this nut, and I can't. So it's like, screw you on the easy one, and the hard one, screw you. Of course, this will be a pain in the dick to loosen because I've already taken all the bolts out of the power steering pump. Alright, so today we are going to mock up and prep the S54 to go into the car. I have never done an S54 swap, so I'm kind of just going off the common knowledge of what I know works and what doesn't with the E36. And then cleaning the parts, getting the headers on, swapping this oil filter housing out for the one I used to run on the race car because it has 10 AN ports already on it, and it's already had thermostat mod and a bunch of other little things. So it's much easier for me to just pull all these 13s, pull the oil filter housing off, you know, because this thing's actually been open for the oil cooler too, so I don't really want to mess with it. I might get this cleaned and modified for a spare, but yeah, so just swapping like power steering pump, off and putting an E36 one on. You know, just all the little details to save myself the headache when it's in the car. Alright, so my friend David, a long good friend of David, from Active sent us some long tubes for this car. Well, it's actually just their header kit. But it comes with everything to install it. Sent a sticker pack. The main thing about these S54s is the headers almost never line up at the flange. So this uses really thick OEM style flanges. It's a 3-to-1 on both sides, and it has options for a wideband and secondary O2 there and everything. So the headers that came off this barely came off because they barely fit. They were like really stretched to make it on there. A little bit different of a design as well, as you can see here. These are the ones that came on the motor that I had, and the guy, I guess, was trying to get them to work and they didn't work, and whatever the case was, but this design is definitely going to be much better. It's a little closer to equal length as well. So hopefully it sounds good and makes some power. Alright, so we got our Active headers on. Active as in the brand, not Active as in automatic something or another. Fitment was really good. All these fit up perfectly. I just got to make an EGR block off for here, as well as a crankcase ventilation delete kit, and go to a catch cam. I'm gonna hit up Radium and see if they have something there. Maybe that'll be our easy solution for that. We're gonna have to do an exhaust that's custom because I am using the original OEM Section 2, but I'm gonna have to connect that somehow to this, so I have to make either an extension or weld some V-bands onto this or something to get to our OEM Section 2. The reason I'm running the OEM Section 2 is because it makes the most torque out of everything. Even guys that are spending a ton of money on their cars, building crazy exhaust, they find that when they put back the Section 2 that's OEM, they don't lose any top-end power and pick up a ton of mid-range. So BMW definitely nailed it with that setup, so we're going to continue using that setup for sure. Alright, let's drop the subframe out and let everything hang, and then put the motor in with the new subframe. Whew! She's mostly in there. Putting this sway bar that my girlfriend was nice enough to give me on. It's like an old 90s racing dynamic bar. It's quite a bit bigger than the OEM bar. Oh, so I mocked up the stock E46 exhaust, and it's pretty ideal. The guy couldn't get this bolt off, so he cut it, so I have to weld it back together. But once we slide this over this, I'll show you guys. So we slide this over this. We use a little donut gasket there, and then this goes up to about here. The fitment is like unreal good. And this is that Section 2 right here that I was talking about that helps make a lot of power. This little H pipe here. And then there's a little resonator here. I'm going to cut this and add another one of these resonators in there to get rid of some sound.
Somebody, I think, just crashed.
That was definitely a gnarly. So, let me get back to the rear. I'm gonna put a huge muffler here. These cars are so loud and so annoying, like this motor, that I might even run like a pass through so it goes across the back here and then back out. We'll see. It's mostly just a track car, but I hate loud cars. Plus, I know if I can get the intake to sound really good on this motor, with a quiet exhaust, will be much better. So we'll see. If you were running this on an E36, you literally could have probably ran the entire stock S54 exhaust, because the E46 has the opening is a little bit more to the left, and you have an extra foot and a half here. So I think these pipes you probably could have just bolted like some sort of flange up to this and muffler all the way back. But we're gonna cut it and go to a 3-inch single, or maybe 3.5-inch single. Right here, we'll Y it and run it right along the side of the axle, and then do some sort of muffler setup back here. We have enough height that I think we could probably get a huge muffler that goes like the old Camaro style mufflers. They go in one side and out the other. We'll see. Try to quiet this thing down a little bit.